Welcome, and I'm so happy to have you here. How are you today?
I'm good, Catherine. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here too.
It's my pleasure. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us a little bit about your story. I think it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Maayan Jasovich. I am originally Israeli, moved to Canada, and now I live in Guatemala. I have a business that's called Run Ready Nutrition. And that whole business started in a very interesting way. When I moved to Canada, to Toronto, I wasn't sure what I wanted to study. So I decided to go for a childhood dream of mine, which was to dance. And as I was dancing more and more, I got injured, had to get physiotherapy. And I found physiotherapy super interesting. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll study physiotherapy. And when I searched, I realized that I have to do an undergraduate degree in order to study physiotherapy after. And so I thought, what would a nice undergraduate would be for fun? I was like really just wanting fun. And I found nutrition. And so nutrition was always a big part of my life. I always was the like granola girl, as they call it.
Mhm.
And I went to study it for fun and I really, really enjoyed. And as my degree progressed, I realized how disappointing the healthcare system was to me and what I was seeing around me.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
personally, I had different chronic illnesses along my life. I had a digestive chronic issue. I had severe acne in my 20s, different things. And I found that every time that I went to doctors or tried to receive any kind of support, I didn't get much. And when I started studying nutrition, everything changed. And it opened up this amazing world where there's so many solutions. And so it was very clear to me during my degree that I wanted to start my own business so that I can actually make a difference and offer to people really good healthcare. I didn't
Mhm.
want to get into the system and kind of do what you have to do when you're in the system, but I wanted to have that freedom of like, no, we can resolve your health issue. You don't have to continue being this way.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
This is, I'm smiling because, whenever I introduce myself, I say I'm here to help people to be free out of system, and you just you just said the same, so we share a little bit of similar purpose. But something else is also interesting. We just met, you were on my workshop, but we met now first time before we are actually recording this. And except for our dear friend Andrea, who connected us, I just realized that they call me LinkedIn Wonder Woman, and
Yeah.
the girl who is acting is actually from Israel too. So
Oh,
so yeah, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. So this is why I was smiling, because people will feel that something is going on behind the scenes. But what truly impressed me about you the first moment I met you is your beautiful positive energy and your willingness to help people. So we talked a little bit, and you mentioned something about changing mindset and understanding our health in a different way, like from ideology to body wisdom.
yeah.
Would you like to share a little bit about that, please?
Yeah. So, from my personal story, for example, I grew up, I would say, fairly disconnected from my body, even though I always had an interest in health. So, in our
Mhm.
society, we live such a lifestyle that is very on the go, very fast paced, especially, capitalistic countries, which is majority of the world,
Mhm.
right? So, because we live in this production state of being, we have been stripped out of our nature. And our
Mhm.
nature, or the nature, right, because we're part of it, has seasons. We have ups and downs, we have lows, we have days that we feel better, we have days we feel worse. And if we go with nature, we're going to be productive when our body tells us to be productive,
Mhm.
and we're going to rest when the body tells us to rest. And when we
Mhm.
bypass that, this is when illness starts happening.
Oh, this is so
So
deep. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you.
yeah,
I do that to my guests. When they say something so important, like you just said, like I never thought about that. But
Yeah.
it's so true.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, as you just mentioned, the majority of people is actually bypassing that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is not to blame anyone, because
Mm-hmm.
we live in the system and the system forces us to do that,
Exactly.
right? We
Exactly.
feel like we don't have a choice, but who created the system if not us?
Exactly.
So in
Exactly.
order to change the system, we need to change ourselves first. We can't
Exactly.
sit on the fence and just blame the system. We have to take action. So
Exactly.
this is the whole principle of moving away from ideology and into body wisdom, is that instead of the ideology that something is, if you have an illness, you go to your doctor and you fix it, you actually instead listen to the body and listen to it on a daily basis, on moment to moment. What is it telling you that it needs? And trusting that when you're providing it with what it needs,
Mm-hmm.
that whatever it is that you're envisioning for your life is going to happen in the best way possible. You're not going to lose your dream job because you decided to take a week off.
Exactly.
You're not gonna you lose the partner of your dreams because you said, you know what, I need like a couple months to recover from something, you know?
Exactly.
So yeah.
You officially just became my soul sister. Let's say it this way. There is not one single word you said that I'm just not nodding my head. Okay. But we mentioned this highly stressful environment actually. People are working and living it every single day, especially working in corporations. And 9 to 5 is not even 9 to 5 anymore.
Yeah.
It's like the whole day, and having a family and maybe kids and all of that, it's complicated, and the
Yeah.
stress level is very high. So what are your thoughts about that, and how you can help with it?
Wow, that's such a big topic. I have so much to say.
Please.
um,
The stage
it's,
is yours.
to me as a healthcare practitioner, as a holistic healthcare practitioner, the corporate world is really toxic. It's demanding things from people that are not reasonable. And for people who know a little bit of psychology, it's also almost gaslighting people into
Yes, thank you.
believing,
Thank you.
yes, into believing that they're or not enough, or that they're not showing up or doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that is a lie. It's a lie, because we're not meant to work not even 8 hours a day. I actually don't believe in the hour system. I think it's wrong at its base. There's also so much time wastage in corporate world. So
Exactly.
some people get paid to just hang out and do nothing. And I think, when we think about how to be efficient and how to, I mean, the corporate world also doesn't take into consideration sustainability and regeneration and the earth, that is really, really important. And if we took all of that into consideration, we would see that, one, we have so much work to do, actually,
Mhm.
and we can't sit around and waste it around, lunches that don't mean anything.
Mhm.
But we also will learn that, wow, you don't need to work 8 hours every single day. Some days are going to ask you to work a little bit more. Some days are going to ask you to work a little bit less. And definitely, as a whole person, as a being, you need separation from things. You worked, you have X amount of energy for work. When that's done, it's done. And then you
Yes.
need regenerative practices, time
Mhm.
with your family, eating well, exercising, resting, whatever it is that's going to support you.
Mhm. Mhm. Now I'm noting, and I can only say mic drop. And thank you so much for sharing that, because for years and years I'm trying to explain this to people, like, you don't have to live like that. You know what's funny? I like to sleep, and I like to sleep a lot. When I stepped out of the corporate, my friends are still working in the corporate, and they get up at 6 7 a.m. and they go to work. I sleep until at least 9:30, and when they call me, I'm just not available. you know and they needed to get used to that. Working as an entrepreneur, like you are and like I am, gives us that flexibility that we can choose when
Mhm.
we want to work, how much, and with whom. Because we actually don't have to work. I don't work any Fridays. Like that's the
Mhm.
decision, and I just don't. That's not negotiable. And it's kind of cool, but it took us a long time to get there.
Yeah.
And it took me so many lessons until I learned what you just so beautifully said in the previous question. You are the author of R&R system
Yeah.
program, however you would like to call that. Like I'm programmer, everything is a system for me. So sorry about it.
No, it's okay. Everything is a system, actually.
Oh, but we are helping people get out of the system. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about R&R.
Yeah, so I created my own method of practice. Part of it is because I didn't only study nutrition, I'm also a yoga teacher and a strength and conditioning coach. I'm really big into movement. And so I combine that with nutrition, and I'm always studying something, functional medicine, different things, consciousness. So my method is really kind of like a mixed pot of all these beautiful modalities. So the idea of the R&R method is just a short for the brand name, which is Raw and Ready. So Raw and Ready is a philosophy, and it really speaks to how when we are at the raw state of ourselves is when we are already ready to do the change or to do
Mhm.
whatever it is that we want to do. You
Mhm.
want to sing, start singing now. You want to start your business now. You want to heal from your IBS or your depression or whatever it is, start now. Don't wait until you have more money or until your life conditions, quote unquote, get better, because we don't know when that's going to happen. And when you actually take action on your health, that creates this domino effect in your life and it changes everything.
Mhm.
So that's the philosophy, and that's really the method. It's like combining as many tools as we can
Mhm.
to arrive at the result that we want in the most efficient way possible. So not all my clients are going to get all the tools. It's more like when you come to me, I see what it is you will need most. And out of
Mhm.
all the tools I have, I choose the ones that are going to bring you to where you want to in the best way possible.
You're genius. That's all I have to say. So, if someone would like to work with you or get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to connect?
So I have social media and a website. You definitely can reach me through my website, which is rawandreadynutrition.com. And you can look me up on Instagram, Raw and Ready Nutrition.
Mhm.
And you can message me. I'm very accessible. You can send me an email. And for anyone that's watching this show, I'm happy to give the first 5 people to contact me and tell me that they heard me in this show. I'm happy to give them a free 30-minute consultation on whatever it is that's going on with them. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that. We will definitely share the links and info. And thank you so much for being my guest. I truly enjoyed and I hope you did too.
Thank you so much for having me. I really, truly enjoyed it as well.
It's my pleasure. See you. Bye bye.
Bye, take care.